Hey all you Radrover enthusiasts out there, welcome to my channel. I've had my Radrover now for almost a year and a half, and during that time I went through a lot of different aftermarket accessories. Some work for me and some don't, or didn't. And some of you pointed out a lot of these accessories that I had put on my bike were falsely advertised. I was a little naive in the beginning, but I'm learning as I go along. But anyway, I would like to just take a few moments to talk about how unique the Radrover is. What's unique about the Radrover is that you can set it up for a commuter bike, you can set it up as a trail bike, you can set it up as a mountain bike, you can set it up as a bike for the snow, you can set it up as a road bike. My bike is set up as a commuter bike. I live in southern Arizona in the Sonoran Desert between Phoenix and Tucson, a little town called Casa Grande. It's pretty flat here. You'd have to actually go out of your way to find a mountain or a hill. And I wouldn't even call them mountains here, I'd call them more like hills. Even then, you probably don't want to be playing around on them because it's all loose rock. Nothing but loose rock. So, that being said, my bike is more or less set up as a commuter bike for dirt roads, sand, and pavement. So that being said, I just want to let you know that that's what my bike's set up for. So if I offend some people because it's not set up as a mountain bike or a trail bike or a road bike or a snow bike, sorry about that. It's set up for my environment. That being said, let's get into it. This Corolla electric horn is not as advertised. I claimed it was 140 decibels. I've learned my lesson a lot trying to order stuff on Amazon. There's a lot of products that are falsely advertised, and I found the best way to check out a product is, number one, look at the reviews, and number two, to look at all the questions and answers. That'll give you a better idea about the product and how reliable it is. Unfortunately, this product didn't have any, so I took a chance and I bought it, and it claims it's 140 decibels. You're lucky that that's 20. So this horn ended up on my great nephew's bike I'm giving to him for Christmas. So he'll be happy to play with that. So it's good for a kid's bike. That's about it. If you wanted to use that for your Radrover, forget it. It doesn't work. So this was a real dilemma for me. So I wasn't sure what I was going to do, because I need a good horn here, because you know there's not that many bike lanes here, and I need a good horn for traffic. So I decided to go with the air horn. The bottle's down here, and you fill it up with air, and it's pretty loud. So this works good. For pedestrians, all you got to do is just tap on it like that, and for cars, just lay on it. It's pretty loud. It's loud enough to get the attention from people inside their cars. So I feel a lot safer with this horn. This product claimed it's 120 decibels, and I believe it is. Don't believe myself that that's 12,000 lumens. I bought this 3 Creed light. It's one of the first lights I bought for the bike. It claimed that it was 12,000 lumens. which is impossible. I was naive at the time. I didn't know any better. So I bought it. I was very happy with the brightness of the light, but I wasn't very happy with the runtime. Like I said, I live in southern Arizona, and during the summer, the only time you can really ride is at nighttime. And my rides, I like to ride at least, I like to ride at least three and a half hour rides. Sometimes they're only a 2-hour ride. But I found myself depleting this battery every time I went on a ride, which means I lost a cycle. So as time went on, the run time got less and less and less. Now I'm lucky to get 2-hour run time out of it. That's on the low beam. So that wasn't suitable for me. So again, falsely advertised product. So again, I was at a dilemma, what to do. So I ran across this Vicmax light. It's quite expensive. It's about $55 for this light. But it's way worth it because of all the features it has on it. If you, like you can see this, it's plugged in, but you notice the light's not on. I'll give you an idea here. And turn it off. Now, and within 5 minutes, that light will go off, where the 3 Creed won't. That light will stay on and will drain your battery. This will go off in about 3 to 4 minutes if it's not being used. Another good thing about this light is that the battery pack is, it has 6 of the 18650 batteries in it, and they're Samsung batteries, which are good batteries. And I've done a runtime on this thing, and I got up over 6 hours of runtime on it. And I still had some battery life left in it, because what this will do, when it starts running low, this will start flashing red. It'll flash, letting you know that the battery is getting low. You'll still be able to run the light for another half hour beyond that without no problems. I'm going to show you the battery pack, how well made it is. Okay, now the Vicmax, they don't offer you a replacement battery. However, there are aftermarket batteries there you can get that are also 6 cells like this one. But let me show you the difference. Now this, they claim that this battery is made with Samsungs, which I believe they are. I'm going to show you how well made this is comparing. Now this is a replacement battery I bought just in case something goes wrong with that battery. Well, actually this is an 8 cell. This is the right one. This is the replacement battery. It's a 6 cell I bought. Look at the difference between them. This one is just shrink wrapped. The wires are off to the side. It's cheaply made. Where this one has nice caps on it. Has a good cleat here to hold the wire in place. It's just a better made battery. And these have Samsungs in it. Now I did a run test with this one, and I believe I got about 4 hours out of this. So this still would work for my bike rides, but this is a better battery altogether. So don't be intimidated by the fact that they don't offer a extra, like you can't buy just the battery. You have to buy the whole battery and light together. Don't be intimidated, because you can still buy replacement batteries that are not quite as good as this, but good enough. We can get at least 4 or 5 hour runtime out of them. So that solved my problem. So the problem with the small battery packs, such as this one that came with the 3 Creed, is that you end up depleting the battery so much that you lose capacity. So where these batteries, you don't deplete them that much. You can recharge them and not lose a cycle. therefore you'll be able to keep the battery capacity at a higher capacity. I recommend this light. It's a very good light if you ride a lot at night and you're looking for a good runtime light that has good magnitude of throw. This is the light you want to get. Well, the next thing I want to talk about are the mirrors. I have no complaints about these inner handlebar mounted mirrors. I fell on this already once, and what happened was when I fell, it hit on this side and it just moved over. It didn't break or anything. So that's nice. Another nice thing about it is, like, if you need to put it in the back of your car or truck or whatever, you need to lay it down, you can turn the mirrors in and set it on the side of the handlebar without any real problems. Now, I see a lot of guys using the mirror that mounts on the handlebar, comes way out over like this. That's kind of cool, but personally, I like the ones on the end of the handlebars because it gives me more room for all my gadgets. I have no complaints about this this mirror so far. I've had it for quite a while. They don't shake while you're riding over rough terrain. You can actually see what's behind you. I got them on both sides because, like I said, I do ride in the street quite a bit, and it's just good practice to know who's behind you, where they're at, and what their intentions are. So I recommend this mirror. The next thing I want to talk about is this extension bar that hooks onto your handlebar. This is one of the first things I bought for my bike, and I love it. Without it, I'd be lost. It works well for me. It holds a lot of my things I need to hold, so I highly recommend it. I know a lot of guys get the little short guys. I don't get it. Why not get the longer one? That gives you more versatility to mount things that you might want on your bike. But if you're concerned about weight, then fine. I can see that. I'm not too concerned about weight because, like I said, most of my rides are not more than 2 or 3 hours long, and most all my rides are on pretty much all flat ground. So in all, I do recommend a good extension bar for your Radrover, or any bike actually. It makes it worthwhile because you can set your bike or your light on your bike center to the bike rather than off to the side if you're just putting on your handlebar because of the goosenecks in the way. So I highly recommend it. I have no complaints about this product. I've had it on here since I had the bike. The Jackery Boombox. My wife bought this for me back in 2015. The reason why she did is because a lot of times when I'm on my bike, I don't hear the phone ringing, and she gets very, very worried that maybe I got hurt or something. So she bought this for me for Christmas back in 2015. I've had it for quite a long time. It works good. It's just by the time I put it on this rack and put my speaker on it, it just looks real bulky, and it was going to be in my way for some other future things, mainly for my air horn. So I decided to go with a different Bluetooth system that's has more new technology to it. This doesn't have half the technology as the one I have now, and the one I have now is probably half the size of this. Although if you took this and pulled it in half, it's about the same size. So it's about the same weight, but it's not as bulky looking. Okay, this is the Bluetooth speaker I bought. It's called Clearon. It has a lot of great features on it. It has a wire remote here where you can change your modes. You can put it on pause. It also has a horn. Let me turn it on. Here. There we go. It has a horn on it. I mean, that's pretty cool for pedestrians and stuff. It's, you know, you can't set any louder. That's as loud as it goes. It has a FM radio, auto seek. You can do all this with your with the control right here. It's all right here. You take your phone calls. You can marry it up through your Bluetooth through your phone. So if you get a phone call, you just hit a button and it takes the call. I like it because it's so easy to remove. I pretty much leave it on the bike. It also has a SD card that you put into it. Takes the mini SD card. I think it can take up to a 64 gig. I think I got a 16 gig in it right now. I got music on it. So, and it plays fairly loud enough. I can control the volume here as well. I can go up a track, down a track. It's pretty much hands-free as far as having to reach up here. You can pretty much control everything on this bar here. It's rechargeable. I like it. I took it over some rough terrain. I just want to make sure it wouldn't fly out, and it doesn't. So far, so good. I just bought this not too long ago. I'm very pleased with it so far. And what I really like about it is it's versatile. You can either mount it on your bar, and they have these little slots here. You can unbolt it. It bolts onto this bar mount. If you unbolt it, there's a little rubber piece you put on it, and there's straps that goes through these slots, and you can either strap it on your top tube or you can strap it onto your down tube. It's pretty versatile wherever you want to mount it, and the wires are long enough where you can run it down here. I had to bundle up my wires underneath here, so they're all bundled up right here. So I like it a lot. In fact, I like it so much I just leave it on the bike. I don't abandon this bike at all, meaning that I don't, if I go to the mall to go shopping, I take the car. If I go to the grocery store, I take the car. However, if I decide I wanted to go down to like Circle K or 7-Eleven or something like that, I don't mind taking the bike, and I can just slip this off, stick it in my pocket. My phone is on a magnetic thing. I'll be talking about that, and I'll be talking about a lock I have for it. That's pretty cool. So I really like this. If you like to take your music, I see a lot of guys riding around with headphones on. Even pedestrians, it's dangerous. It only takes a few seconds for something to happen. Next thing you know, a car's coming up over the curb because of an accident, and you happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. You know, you're going to get hurt. This way, I can stay more alert what's going on around me, and the idea here is not to play it too loud that you offend people. I keep it kind of low enough where I can hear it, but not, if you're 2-3 feet away, you're not going to be able to hear it that much. So it's a good product. I like it. It was well packaged. Way worth the money. There is one other thing you should know about the FM radio. Now, it could be because I live out in the boonies, kind of, so the reception out here is not the greatest, but probably if you lived in the city, the reception on the FM radio is kind of borderline. If you lived in a city, you probably get good reception. If you live out in the boonies, kind of like what I do, the reception might be a little bit iffy. You can also has a USB port for it, so you can charge it up. Not only that, you can charge it up, you can hook it up to your computer and download your music right onto this without having to take the SD card out and put in an SD card reader and then download it and put it in there. You just leave it in there and you can download your music or whatever you want on your SD card. What other feature does it has? That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, it does have a plug that comes with it. Has a little mini DIN plug on one end. It has a USB plug that plugs into here on the other end, and what that allows you to do is, like you have an old Walkman or something like that, you want to play a different device through this speaker, you can do that as well. You also can change the horn. It has, I think it has 2 different or 3 different sounds. This is just a car horn, and you can change it to some other sound as well. I haven't played with that much because I was kind of happy with the horn. Talk about the home-brewed or homemade twist throttle for comfort. First of all, I bought this strap-on thumb throttle. And that allows me to use the thumb throttle. I liked it, except for the fact that when I'm trying to hold my amps on my bike at a certain level, every time I hit a bump, my thumb would move and the amperage would go up or down. So I didn't particularly care for it, so I took it off. So what I made, I found a rubber piece that fits over this perfectly. It's from an old Bluetooth device I had that didn't work anymore, so I went ahead and took the rubber piece off. It's kind of like a diamond cut. Anyway, it increases the circumference, and so you don't have to reach down in there and pull on that hard plastic that's inside there. And it's about flush or a little bit above flush to the hand grip. And that really helps out a lot for cramp-free riding, because I use the throttle quite a bit. But this thing is pretty cool. I mean, you know, I keep it, but like I said, I had a hard time holding my amps at a certain level when I'm trying to get distance I want to get when I'm riding, because every time I hit a bump, my thumb would move. It either pushed it down or let up on the throttle. Where this, I can hold my amps much better. So I prefer this over this. And just to let you know the size that you need for something like this, if you're interested in trying to find a rubber piece for it, the inner dimension is 1.25 inches, and the thickness is about, well, I'd say it's about 1/4 inch thick. And that is about the perfect size you need. Then you just cut it to the length you need and slip it on. Top bar bags with phone holders. I bought this one originally, and I didn't like it. I got too much glare during the day. I couldn't see my phone. I didn't like it. So I ran across this one, and I liked it a little bit better because it was easier to, this was difficult to even load the phone. It's a real big hassle because you had a zipper on it. This one was a lot easier, but the reason why I bought it is because it's supposed to be, because of this ridge here, it's supposed to be anti-glare. It's not. As soon as that sun comes up around 10 a.m., from 10 a.m. to about 3 p.m., you can't see your phone whatsoever. So I don't like that either. So again, falsely advertised. Glare free. It's not glare free. You get a lot of glare. Although, what I do like about these is that you can access your phone with gloves on or with your hand, with it inside the bag. And I like the idea of the bag holders, but again, when it's on the bike, it made the bike look, made it look ugly. I didn't like it. So what to do? So I ran across this phone holder, and I bought another phone holder that ended up breaking on me because my phone has a protector on it and it's pretty wide. But this is a magnetic phone holder. You put a plate on the back. It has a film that you can put over it, so you know, if you're concerned about being able to remove it, there's a film, you pull the film up and it pulls this up with it. I didn't put it on this because I have a protector on this. And then another thing I was kind of worried about is because it has a magnetic base, I was kind of afraid that it might erase data out of my phone. It doesn't. So it's real easy. You just put it on and put on the bands, and that's it. You don't have to fight with it. Where the other one, I had to spread it open and put it in. I was taking them out to the max and it finally broke. I had it for like 2 weeks and it broke. I've had this for about 3 months now, and I'm very, very, very pleased with it. I like the way it mounts. It is a plastic kind of mount, but if you notice, this part right here is almost like for your GoPro kind of mount, which basically if I wanted to, I could probably use this, a steel mount. This is actually aluminum. I can just take this piece out and put this piece in with that, so make it all aluminum. I'm very pleased with this mount. You can turn it any way you want. I like it, and it comes with 3 bands. It comes with an orange, red, and black. So you get 3 different colored bands for style. So it's kind of cool. I like it. And in fact, I liked it so much I put it on my other quadricycle, on my other bike. Another good thing about it, even during the day, I can tilt it down. You know, it depends where the sun is. I mean, if the sun's behind me, there's just not much you can do about it. You're going to get the glare. But if the sun's in front of me, where the phone's up this way and I'm getting too much glare, I can tilt the phone down where I can actually see it. So it does have a little bit of versatility when it comes to getting the glare out of it, where you can actually see your phone. There's something else I just wanted to show you that I found. I found this app, and I really like it. I use it on my Quadra because I don't have a speedometer on my Quadra, but I like to compare what my bike says I'm doing, what this says I'm doing, because I changed my settings from a 26-inch setting to a 28-inch setting. And believe it or not, the 28 setting, the 28-inch setting is more accurate for the tires that I have on my bike. And I've done 2 tests. I've done a test for mileage, and I also done a test miles per hour. The mileage came up perfect, and the miles per hour came up perfect at a 28-inch setting. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Bar bags, handlebar bags. This is the first handlebar bag I bought. It straps around the handlebars here, and it also straps around here. The problem with this, number one, is it wasn't the right color scheme for my bike. And the other problem is every time I want to remove it, it was a hassle. So I ran across this bag. This is called a messenger's bag. It's smaller, it's easier to remove. There's just a couple quick releases here, and it drops the bag straight out. It also allows you to take off these 2 little belts here, And you pull that out and you can use it as a belly bag or you can use it as a shoulder bag. And it has 2 compartments on each side. The only problem with this bag is if you want access to this compartment here, there's 2 compartments. These 2 main compartments here, you can't get access to it. You have to drop it out. Now what I carry in there is my tool bag. And what I carry over here is my alarm, my bicycle lock, which I'm going to show you. Very simple. I also use a cable lock, although a lot of people say don't use a cable lock. Well, I'm going to show you what I do. This has an alarm on it. It's 110 decibels, and it locks right there to your disc brake. Now, that's in a spot where it's going to be difficult for them to get an angle grinder in there to grind that off. And that's what you want. You want to deter people from taking your bike. Because if they want it, they're going to get it. So if I lock it just with this and not use a cable lock, it's very easy for them to drive by with the truck, pick it up and throw it in the truck and deal with this later. So I use a cable lock as well. A good heavy one, but when I run it, I try to run it tight as possible. So, you know, like I said, I don't usually abandon my bike. I usually keep my bike in a, you know, if I stop at a bar or something, I'm going to have a few drinks or something, I'll park it right where I can come out and have a cigarette and kind of keep an eye on the bike. I come out and check it periodically. So keep an eye on your bike. But a good alarm is always a good idea. So that's what I use that for. So it's battery operated. They send you extra batteries for it. It comes with batteries in it. It's pretty loud. And what I like about it, it's small and versatile. I just put it in my bag here. And as far as the toolkit goes, if I need access to the tools, there's no problem dropping out the bag because there's only 2 quick releases and the whole bag drops out. Or if you want to just take the bag off, throw your stuff in it, take it with you where you go in a bar or something, you can do that. So I'm very pleased with this messenger bag. It's not bulky. It's the right kind of color for the bike. The only real problem I've been having is after I ride a while, these straps tend to slip up. So I think it needs to be threaded a different way so it doesn't slip. But other than that, it works great. And I most generally just keep it on the bike at all times. I hardly ever take it off. It helps hide all the ugly wires underneath. Helps hide all those ugly wires. And it works for me. It's a little tight fit going in there, but it works. The Bikeroo comfort seat. I love this seat. I'm glad I bought it. I've had it on there since I bought the bike. I didn't like the stock seat. It was too hard. It was very uncomfortable for me. You know, after about 5 miles, my butt started getting really sore. So there are things you can do to relieve your buttocks. With the stock seat, they make a seat post that has a shock in it that helps absorb that, but I'm too short. I have to have my seat all the way down to the frame, so that wouldn't work for me. So what I did is I found a seat that has a spring in it. It gives on both sides, so not only it has a good thick wide for my buttocks, but it also has some give to it. You have a shock in the front, but you don't have a shock in the back. So this helps a lot on the bumpy roads. So if you're short in stature like me and you're having that problem, look into this Bikeroo seat. It's a good seat. You can see it has a good spring to it. So I weigh about 195, 185. It handles my weight just fine. They also give you a cover for the bike. So, or for your seat. So, you know, if you live in a rainy area like Seattle, Washington, something like that, where it rains a lot, you can take your little seat cover with you and put the cover over it. So when you come back to get on it, you just take the cover, shake it out, stick it in your bag, and get on the bike. It doesn't look half bad on this bike. It looks pretty nice. Axiom fenders. These guys right here, the rear one and the front one. I live in southern Arizona, as you know, and we don't get much rain here. When we do, you probably don't want to be riding it anyway, because either we got a microburst going on, or we have severe thunder and lightning associated with most all of our rains. So it's just not a good idea to be riding around an electric bike when it's thunder and lightning out. Basically, I bought these just for the little puddles that I do run into occasionally, but more for style than anything else. I just wanted to add the fenders on to give it a little bit of style. And one of my biggest problems with the Radrover fenders, because I like the short fenders, I didn't like the long fenders. I thought they looked stupid. Part of my problem was because the seat post has to be all the way down to the bottom. I couldn't use the seat post mount short fender. So I ran across these fenders for a fat tire bike, and I realized that I could probably make them work for me. So I had to custom build them so that they would fit. And this fender was not a fender. Even though they advertise it as a fender, it's actually a mud guard, which mounts down where your water bottle goes, right here in these two straps. So I kept these straps because this fender is very thin. I kept the straps on it because it holds the shape of the fender. And then I ran a piece of 1/8 inch thick by 1 inch wide aluminum strip underneath on the bottom all the way through. Then I bent one here and I ran that all the way through, and I bent another one and I ran this one up, and I bolted it all up together, so it's very sturdy. So these straps came in handy. I just put Velcro cinch straps in there instead of the rubber ones that give you you have two options. You can either strap it onto your down tube, or you can mount it with screws into your to where your water bottle goes. I didn't want them like that. I wanted it as a fender fork mount fender. So it turned out to be a good thing, because now I use that to strap my batteries for my light. Or you could use it to strap a tool bag or tool kit. Anything you want. It's pretty versatile. And there's plenty of room. I did a nosedive on it with the front brake, and there's plenty of room. It doesn't hit or anything. The fender doesn't rub on the tire. Turned out great. I did paint them. They were white and black. So they had a white tip that came to here. I painted this all orange. I painted this black. I put the lightning stripes stickers on the back one. These are light reflective, by the way. And I use a paint for plastic. This is a Clearon. This was really, really easy to put on. This other paint was a pain in the butt. I can't remember the name of it, but it didn't go on very good. It was blotchy, and every time I put it on, I had to sand it down a little bit. And I put a top coat, clear coat on it. And I used pinstriping on it. And they turn out great. I've had them on here for about, I'd say at least 4 or 5 months now. Haven't had any problems with them. Although when I do go through the water doesn't get on my back, but it will come up here, right around this area here. On the front, it gets all over my foot. so they don't really work good for the rain. But like I said, I put them on more for style and than anything else. And it made the bike look a lot better, I think. I like the color scheme I came up with. It looks good. The Radrover rear rack. I got this for Christmas, and when I opened it, we had a little bunch of kids here, and I think my spacers that you're supposed to get got lost, so I had to make up my own spacers here, because then that was hitting on this brake so bad I couldn't do the adjustment on the brake, and the rear brake was sticking a little bit when I released the brake. So had to make up my own spacers. I was thinking about painting the rack, but I didn't want to paint it. But I wanted to do something different with this. So I painted in these stripes. This is a copper, what they call burnt copper, and this is an orange paint. I did the striping on it. I think it came out great. It looks good. The rim reflective tape. Great investment. When the lights hit it, it really gives a super big glow. Plus during the day when the sun shines on it just right, it reflects. It looks like you had your rims custom anodized around the outer edge. So they're worth the money. I just want to let you know they do come in a lot of different colors. You can get them in purple, red, blue, green, orange. In this case, even though they look amber, they are orange. You just got to make sure you get the right size. For the Radrover, they're 22 to 23 inch, and they cost about $33. But that will do both sides of your rim, front and rear, and you'll have to give you extras just in case you mess one up. You get like it takes 6 strips to go all the way around, and you just overlap about 1/4 inch. They're real easy to apply, and I haven't had any problems with them. I've had them on here for about 4 months now, and I'm very pleased with them. Joe Yang Sandstorm tires. These are street tires. I didn't like the knobbies when I bought the bike. It rode real rough, and those knobbies felt like they're out of balance, and they made a ton of noise going down the street. I mean, it's not like an 18-wheeler going down the street. I wanted something a little bit smoother. I wanted something that fit my environment a little bit better. These work great in the dirt and the sand and on the street. So these tires fit my environment perfectly. So when I put them on, I went ahead and put the Tuffy liners in. I also put in the slime, because here where I live, thorns can be 2 inches long, and 99% of the flats here are going to be due to thorns. It's not going to protect you from sharp metal objects like screws, nails, stuff like that. That will go through your Tuffy liner. But like I said, 99% of all flats are due to thorns, especially in my environment. So I've had them on there since I bought the bike. I switched them out within the first 45 miles of having this bike, and now I got close to 800 miles on it. So I haven't had one flat tire since I've done that. When I had the knobbies on it, I wasn't running liners or protection or anything, and I think I got 45 miles, I got a flat tire in the front. So I slimed the front tire and fixed it. And I think I went another 20 miles, then the back one went flat, and I slimed that, and I fixed it, and I said, that's it, I'm gonna change the tires and put liners and slime in it. And since I've done that, I haven't had one flat tire. Now you can see especially on the back tire, I don't know if you can see it that well, but you see the tread line on it. It still looks pretty good, and I'm almost got 800 miles on these tires. So, well, about 750 miles, but that still looks real good. Not bad. It's getting good tire wear. I like that. Now these tires are no longer available, but I'm sure there's a lot of other street tires out there. I think they got a Max tire out there that's pretty cool. I think it'd work real nice. But there's, so you know, if you're looking for a good commuter tire rather than a off-road tire, you probably want to switch them out to a good street tire. It rides a lot smoother, rides quieter, and it freewheels a lot better on pavement than a Navi does. Okay, at one time I had my water bottle down on this cage down here, and someone made a comment saying that's the worst place you could have a water bottle, which is true, because it throws all the dirt on it. Every time I went to get my water bottle, I had to wipe it all off so I can drink out of it. So I end up getting this guy. This is strap-on, Velcro strap-on type cage, and it has this good rubber piece in here, and you can put that rubber piece right on the corner, and I mounted it off to the side like that, so it's perfect. It works great. The only thing I had to do with it, I had to put a little cable tie here, because every time I hit a real hard bump, it wanted to fly out, but now it doesn't. So it goes in and it stays in. I don't have a problem at flying out no more. But this is really cool. I really like it. So all in all, I get a lot of compliments on this bike. A lot more compliments than I did when it was stock. Whenever I go somewheres and I park, like I go into the post office real quick, drop something off, I come back out and there's 3 or 4 people gathered around this bike gawking at it, and as soon as I come out they go, "Oh, this is your bike?" "Yeah." "Oh, your bike looks so cool. It's really rad." And I go, "That's why they call it a Radrover." They go, "Does it come like this?" And I go, "No, I had to customize it." They say, "Oh, you did a great job. It looks really good. I really like the way it looks." And so I get a lot of compliments. So I'm going to give you a before and after picture at the end of this video, and you be the judge. So thanks for watching, and be sure, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and hit that notification bell. This will be the last video I'll be doing on the Radrover for this year. I'm moving on to another project. I'm going to be finishing up the quadricycle, the 4-wheel bike that I just recently put an electric motor in. I got some things I want to do to that, and this bike's pretty much wrapped up. The only thing that's left on it is the pinstriping. I get rid of the red pinstriping, and I got some 1/8 inch orange and copper. So we're going to be taking off all this red pinstriping, taking off the Radrover logos, and redoing the frame. It's going to look really good when I'm done. But other than that, this bike is pretty much finished up, and it's really to my liking.